Hey, welcome to another video about the amazing capabilities of magnet tiles. I just want to say thank you to the hundreds of people who subscribed to the channel after watching my silly little experiment turning magnet tiles into Warhammer 40k terrain. You subscribing has given me so much encouragement these last few weeks. I also want to give a special shout out to the Warhammer 40k Terrain and More and Necromunda Terrain Makers Facebook groups. I posted the video to those groups first, and it's just been so cool to see everybody trying their hand at making magnet tile terrain. It's really cool to see what people are coming up with. Many of you commented on my 40k tile terrain video to make a version for D&D, fantasy, medieval. So here's my attempt at modular dungeon tile floors. After trying a few methods of measuring out tile sizes, I realized I could just trace the foam with my hot wire cutter. This is I think I paid $12 for this thing at a craft store. They're definitely on Amazon if you don't have one. They're fantastic little tools. You'll see later that I overshoot a little bit and I take too much off the sides with this method, but if you're careful or if you have a Proxxon or one of those sweet, awesome foam cutting tables, that won't be an issue. I think the most satisfying part of this build was the process of using the hot wire cutter to cut grids into each tile. Those lines, just, ooh, look at those lines. I ended up making big, wide lines. A regret that I do have is not cutting the grid lines into the sides of each tile. You'll see later, it looks kind of weird and blank on the sides. Standard white PVA glue came next. I needed to make up for the slight gap between the tile and the foam, so I just smothered it in glue. And that didn't work. About 24 hours later, the glue was nowhere near drying, and I fixed the issue by cutting up some small squares from a cereal box and sandwiching it with the two pieces, the magnet tile and the foam. The logic here is that cardboard loves glue, so it gave both sides something nice to hang on to. The next trick I got from the one and only Zorpa Zorp. Look him up. He is terrain making royalty on YouTube. Take either a ball of tinfoil or a rough rock. I have a piece of cinder block, and you just roll it all over the foam. Gives it really good, inconsistent dents in your stonework. It really paints up nice and looks good. Also from Zorpa Zorp, I found this trick. When you're doing any kind of brick structure, get something that's roughly the size of your bricks or your tiles and firmly press into random corners. This adds unbelievable texture and really makes your brickwork look like separate stones pieced together. Now it's painting time. This is not a painting channel, so you can find all kinds of instructions on how to paint stonework. But in essence, cover in black, cover up all that green or pink foam, then do a nice sloppy layer of dark gray. Some people don't go sloppy, but I have fun doing it this way. I made an extra sloppy for you. You can comment the name of that movie if you get that reference. The last part of the process is the most glorious part of terrain building. If you've never built terrain before, you need to do some stonework and you need to dry brush it. If you've never dry brushed some rocks, please make it a point to do so. I mean, just look at that. It takes no effort at all. It just kind of happens. Take a fluffy brush. Most people prefer cheap dollar store makeup brushes. Cover it in paint. Take a paper towel and just get most of the paint off. The secret is there's still plenty of paint in the bristles. And then you just kind of slop it on over. The paint will find all the edges of your model and make it look super realistic. And there you go, magnet tile modular dungeon terrain. I am not a D&D player, so I'm sure there's a million ways you could take this concept a few steps further. But I wanted to inspire you with some more possibilities with the magnet tiles. One of the games that is similar in aesthetic that I do play and am super passionate about is the Lord of the Rings game from Games Workshop. It's got a long title. It's called the Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game. I've actually been inspired by you, the hundreds who have subscribed in the last few weeks, to bring something I've not seen before with MESBG, and that is cinematic battle reports, where it's a full game determined by dice and all, but shot and cut up to feel more like a show or a movie. Regular battle reports for 40K and Lord of the Rings, they can be 20, 30, 40, 60 minutes. My first cinematic battle report clocks in under 7 minutes. My ultimate goal is to take Frodo from the Shire all the way to Mordor in a series of these cinematic battle reports. The first one is up now, with a second on the way. So please consider subscribing to join me in the journey, whether you play the game or not. You don't have to know the rules to enjoy the journey. Lots more coming. Thanks for watching.